Hey, everyone, welcome into another edition of Say Hey Plays. My name is Jose Bouquett. Alongside me today is my guy, Nick. Nick, how you doing over there?
Doing great, Jose. Thanks for having me today.
Well, I'm glad you're on, of course. It's been an interesting couple of weeks, obviously, for me and Say Hey Plays as a whole, so I'm glad you're on. We're always looking for faces to try to find me out of this cold streak that I'm in. We had a slight winning day yesterday. Technically, the first winning day, I believe, since August 4th. I've
Oh,
had. So it's been a day. I don't really, want to count it as a winning day, perhaps, because really it was just a small marginal, like up juice kind
yeah.
of day. But we'll take it. We'll take it.
Yeah.
We'll ride on this momentum. We'll take it and ride on this momentum. Nick, how's your baseball season going so far? I guess you should say. I mean, we're almost 3/4 of the way through, but how's it going?
Yeah, it's not going too bad. The last 3 weeks after the All Star break have been real solid. Up until last weekend, just kind of ran into a little bit of a cold streak, but it's been good overall for the season. Up a few shillings, and looking forward to getting into football season. So,
Yeah, football season comes soon, and it's going to be a very interesting time for pub sports radio as a whole. So stick around. I believe all those football announcements are coming tomorrow. I'm not
excellent.
100% sure, but definitely stick around, watch the channel. Shout out to the Daily Sesh who got moved back to their time at 4:20. Just makes sense, it makes a whole lot of sense to me. 4:20 Daily Sesh, just simpatico, just like that. So shout out to everyone on the channel. And one last shout out, because we always have to, I would like to do this every show. Go to the Buy Me a Coffee link, which I just put in the comments right now. Go support the pub in any way you can. The Buy Me a Coffee is geared towards you guys. Eventually, at the end of the day, we're going to have a big Pub Sports Radio East Coast meetup, and all that money that is raised eventually just goes back into you for hotel fees and food and all that good stuff. So shout out to everyone that donates, and shout out to the Buy Me a Coffee. Shout out to Rocco Rogers, Cheshire Cat, Let's Go Wild Picks, UFC Capper. Shout out to Let's Go Wild Picks. I'm a good guy there. Don
Yeah.
Player, Danzo, Dave Beckett, Mike M, Mike Morris. I hope you're in here as well. But let's get right into it. No more dilly dally, no more wasting time. Say Hey Plays 128. Say Hey 128 officially begins here with a little double dip action. I expect us not to talk about this game very much because the first game has not finished yet. Bottom of the seventh, I should say. One guy on for the Cleveland Guardians. I passed on this game. I just think that Curry, I was going to say Xavion Henry. Xavion Curry, I believe that's how you pronounce his name, by the way, is going to be an interesting watch today. So I will be watching for him. But minus 200 for any guy coming up and making his debut is questionable at best. So pass here for me, as the Cleveland Guardians now have first and third with no one out.
Yeah, I have a play on the first game that's currently going that I posted earlier this morning in our little chat and my Discord. But this game, I am a pass. I am very interested to watch Curry pitch. He's done very well as kind of a crafty pitcher. He's not an overpower guy in the minors, so I'm interested to see how he deals with the patience of major league hitters. So
All right, beautiful. So let's keep it moving here. That's that second game of the doubleheader talked about a little bit. Like I mentioned, for game one of that doubleheader has not finished, but wanted to mention it real quick. Let's move on to now the official card, I guess we can say here. We've got Phillies Reds, the first game that I want to talk about. And man, I've bounced back and forth on this game. I'll be honest. I like the Philadelphia Phillies here in this spot, and I want to back them, whether that be run line or maybe a first five -1 or some form or fashion here. But Thor scares me at the end of the day. Noah Syndergaard making his third start for the Phillies now. I would say 3-0, 6-8 so far in this year. His last two starts were, okay. His first start with the Phillies was range shortened, 5 innings, 11 hits, 4 runs. Not a good start there. And then he went back against the Miami Marlins, but the Miami Marlins are horrible. We all know that. 6 innings, 6 hits, 2 runs, 4 Ks, 2 walks. Mike
yeah,
Minor, we also know a pretty good deal about Mike Minor. First time through the order, he'll fool you. Second
yep,
time through the order, you'll come back and get him. So I want to take Philadelphia here. They're also first against lefties this month. Super small sample size and 61 plate appearances, but
yeah,
first is still first. And while the Reds are 28th against righties. So
Phillies in some form or fashion, I believe. What do you think, Nick? Yeah, I would agree with you. I mean, Phillies have to be the side here if you're playing, especially just looking at the numbers. Phillies are hitting about 250 against left-handed pitching. Weather shouldn't be much of a factor in in the bandbox in Cincinnati. Schwarber being out is a little bit of a concern for a team total for me, but I would play Philly in some form or fashion if I was playing this game.
All right, beautiful. I'm glad that you like them too. Confirmed lineup for them: Stott, Hoskins, Bohms, JT, Nick Castellanos, Segura, Sosa, Marsh, and Veerling on the or I guess on the road for them here. Phillies -1.5 here is at -120 now, which sucks because I saw it at -115 earlier. And of course, Bovada is seeming to not work right now either. So that's also
that's never
lovely.
good.
Yeah. It's been like the last couple of days. Whenever you want to click on a baseball game to get more bets, it's always page is not found. So baseball on Bovada is just getting spat on every day, every day. So I'll write down Phillies -1.5. I've got it at -120. I literally cannot bet it right now. So we'll see if I can and if I will later on in the show. Next game here, we've got the Padres versus the Marlins here. A very, very good pitching matchup, of course. Musgrove, Alcantara here. Musgrove has, I would say he has been struggling, but he bounced back in his last start. 7 innings, 6 hits, 1 earned run, 4 Ks, no walks against the Giants. Sure, struggled against the Colorado Rockies. Alcantara, we all know what he is. Now, it's nice that we've had this, we're deep into this baseball season that we kind of know what all these pitchers are at this point at the end of the day. And Sandy's good. Sandy's really good, but he can get touched up like he did against Philadelphia. 7 2/3, 4 earned runs. You're going to get him for most of the game. I'll be honest here. I wanted to bet the Padres. I don't know. It's just me being an asshole, always trying to fade these fucking good ass pitchers. But San Diego team total over 3.5 -105 was interesting to me. Maybe a first 5 team total, which I wish I could tell you guys what the price of was right now. But again, Bovada's down, so I'm sure you can get a good 1.5. Oh, great! I can click on this game. How nice! You can get a over 1.5 at even money for the first 5, and you might be asking like, why would you take first 5 over the full game? I think you're getting Alcantara either way. Alcantara is going to go 7 innings, probably 8, maybe 9, like he does often. So if you're going full game first 5, you're getting them either way. So I think the -1.5 even money also is not a bad look, but it's tough to bet against Sandy. What do you think here, Nick?
I am a Sandy believer. I mean, I think this guy is the real deal. I mean, obviously, no one's necessarily questioning that. But I'm on the Marlins first 5 money line. I got it at plus money this morning.
Makes sense.
Anytime I can get the best pitcher in the National League potentially, that's not named Jacob deGrom at plus money, I'm going to take it. The other thing I will say is Sandy's only necessarily gotten touched up by teams that have seen him multiple times.
Good point.
So I would be, and the Padres, they didn't really. I mean, they hit Washington a little bit. They did not hit. They did not hit the day I bet on them, of course. But I do think that there's some opportunity here for Sandy to hold them down for 5 or 6 innings. I do think if you're betting the Padres here, you're definitely betting on Sandy not finishing this game and getting to that Marlins bullpen.
Yeah, and that's tough to say, man. It's really tough to say with Sandy. So I ultimately passed on this game. I think a great stat here, Sabino and Guano. 13-1 team totals for the Marlins. Jesus.
Man, that's bad.
Jesus, that's tough. That's tough here. Not applicable liking first Miami first fine. What up, Ixnigel? Nice to see you again here. It is tough. And by the way, top set liking the Padres in the under 6.5 here. I saw that first 5 under 3 -110, and I was like,
"Phew, man."
Yeah, I kind of like that. I really do. Yeah. I'm agreeing with Jake Burns when he's saying 1-0 or 0-0 after 5. I mean, it's truly up to the Padres offense against Sandy, and like you guys mentioned, first time seeing him is going to be fucking tough to do. The team that touches him up is going to be a division team like the Phillies that have seen him often. So I like the looks here. I'm writing down first 5 under 3 at -110, and maybe I'll be a little like Noli today, and then
There you
Will
go.
be interesting. Will be interesting to say the least. Let's
Yeah.
move on to this next game: Chicago versus the Washington Nationals here. And this is another game that I actually like. Have not moved on yet. A little pricey for -145 for the Cubs, and I was like, okay, well, I like the Cubs today. Is the price going to get me off of them? You can take a Cubs first five -0.5 at -105 here. These teams just saw each other, and these pitchers just saw these lineups. And
Yeah.
I think it's interesting because Marcus Stroman and Josiah Gray are two pitchers that have one of the sharpest home road splits here, and it kind of showed in their last starts. 6 1/3, 7 hits, 2 earned runs for Josiah Gray at the Cubs, who thrives away from home, obviously. And
Yeah.
Marcus Stroman, the same thing. He does better on the road, and he struggled at home. 5 innings, 5 hits, 4 runs, 2 home runs off the Washington Nationals here. So
Yeah.
I really think this could just be an over game. I think this could be the exact flip of that last matchup. But I was looking at Cubs first five -0.5, and I was a little worried about a 2-2 here. So that's why I was leaning towards perhaps an over. What do you think here, Nick?
Yeah, if I was playing this game, we are only playing the over. I don't have an official play here, and I would only play this over here. I don't trust either of these bullpens. The Cubs Cubs got rid of some arms. Washington has inherited a bunch of players for Soto, but hasn't shown the ability to hold the lead. So I would play over 8 if I was playing this game.
Really? Yeah, I think that's I think that's probably the play here. I'll keep that penciled in, of course, because I do think that it's hard to trust both of these lineups, obviously. But let me write this down real fast, and then I'll tell you guys a surprising stat about the Chicago Cubs. This month, the Chicago Cubs seventh against righties right now, 117 weighted runs created plus. Nationals are 13th, 99 weighted runs created plus. So a little just slightly below average, but I was a little surprised to see the Cubs at such a high number. And by the way, the total, excuse me, is at even money now at 8.
Nice.
A little weird because I saw that -105 earlier, but yeah, even money is a good price. So I'll write that down as well. I'm glad, my leans I wrote down leans for almost all these games, and my leans are squaring up with you, Nick, which makes me feel a little better. Makes me feel a little better about my
We're either
bet.
to start the week well or not talk to each other.
It'll be great. You know what? I think we're gonna have a great conversation after this, Nick. That's what I'm feeling right now. By the way, shout out to Andres Jimenez. Venezuela hit a home run 4-1 Guardians now.
Oh, that's huge. I love it. Let's go. Go Guardians.
Bottom 7 there. Andrew Chafin gave it up.
Still the dumbest name in baseball, but go Guardians.
I'd agree with that. Definitely the dumbest name in baseball. Rays Yankees next game on our slate, and it is. I will admit, it's very funny to me that Garrett Cole did not pitch in the last series. It's just very funny to me.
Oh man.
Rays Yankees, like he said here. I mean, it makes sense, I guess. Aaron Boone wants to use his best pitchers against bad teams, and Garrett Cole obviously dominates the Tampa Bay Rays here. He's faced them 3 times, dominated them each of the 3 times, 1 earned run max, and both earned 2 of those starts, and a shutout in the other one. Tampa Bay team total under was honestly a look for me here. You can take Tampa Bay first 5 team total under a half at plus 150, wow. And I was like, okay. If I really trust Garrett Cole, like maybe that's the look.
Yeah.
I did not necessarily hate that. I cannot. This is one of those games where it does not give me more bets on Bovada right now. So I was also looking at a Yankees -1.5, a -115. The Yankees offense against lefties doing surprisingly well. Jalen Beeks, obviously a lefty coming in for a bullpen day. You'll get him for 1-2 innings, maybe. We'll see. But at the end of the day, I just don't trust the Yankees offense enough. So I'm a little bullish right now on the -1.5. Nick, hopefully you're here to convince me a little bit, maybe.
Yeah, the only thing I'm playing in this game, if I had to play it, was -1.5. I would maybe look at an alternate 2.5 for some plus money. I'm not running to the window to back either of these teams, but I do like this matchup being a bullpen day, being Cole. They in a very fishy way did not use him in the last series, so he's going to be ready. He does dominate the Rays. Everything would be run line or -2.5 for me.
Yeah, I like. This is one of those plays where I feel a lot better about. I don't know. Obviously, people know that I'm a fucking Yankees hater, and I try to fade
I had no
Garrett
idea.
Cole. Yeah, I know. I swear, right? Who, me? Am I biased?
That's
Who the
so
fuck?
weird.
Yeah. I'm not wearing any Red Sox stuff today after a 2-game, 2 out of 3 beat down of the Yankees. Is rare. I don't know. But yeah, I do think that Garrett Cole, and by the way, I think Garrett Cole pitches a long time today too.
Yeah.
I think he pitches at least 7, probably 8, because the Yankees bullpen has been worn down. That last series, worn down. They got used up and they got abused in the series, because it's very funny that every reliever every reliever the Yankees have just mysteriously sucks against the Red Sox, and then their best pitcher apparently mysteriously sucks against the Red Sox too. So I don't know. It's just very interesting to me. Tampa Bay team total under. Yankees -1.5. I think Yankees -1.5 will officially be on my card, but we will talk about official plays at the end of the show. Baltimore, Toronto, next game up. And speaking of official plays, this is my one official play that I have locked in, and I'll tell you guys now. I came into the show with the one. I didn't love necessarily everything on this card. I want to talk of that, obviously, especially how bad I've been. But I like the Blue Jays. I like the Orioles first 5 money line here. I think that's very funny. I think it's very funny betting against the Blue Jays, and I've been probably one of the highest people on the Blue Jays all year. But Kikuchi's obviously just a scary guy to bet on, and I wouldn't want to bet on him. 5 innings, 6 hits, 5 earned runs, 3 home runs, 4 Ks, 3 walks at Baltimore last time out. Kyle Bradish, who we all know and love. Well, I wouldn't say all of us know and love him. Jimmy the Bag, shout out to Jimmy, has a fondness of Kyle Bradish and him pitching well here after getting sent down to the minors. Maybe I should listen. He had 5 and a third, 5 hits, 3 earned runs against the Toronto Blue Jays last time out, and I think that's a pretty good start for what Kyle Bradish is. So obviously the back-to-back starts is concerning, but I think I'm going to take Baltimore first 5 money line, and I think this will be a lower scoring game than that first game they matched up with, obviously, because Baltimore and Camden Yards is a little different than Rogers Stadium in the 6th. And we have some breaking news. Eric Chang lets us know Walker Buehler officially out for the season. Season ending elbow surgery. I am not surprised by that. I am not surprised by that. I mean, yeah, I've been saying the Dodgers are really, really good, but their pitching staff is going to be lacking in October, and they keep telling me, or I should say, Noli keeps telling me that their pitching staff is going to get replenished here in October or September when all these guys come back from the IL. I don't trust it personally. I do not trust it.
Yeah, the Dodgers. That's really the significant. That was the most significant thing that I saw at the trade deadline was the Dodgers not making any move for arms.
Yeah, they trust their depth, and I mean, why wouldn't they? I mean, Tyler Anderson's fucking 13-1 or whatever he was. He had a shitty start last night, but it'll be interesting to see. And a good note, Bo Jackson, the Blue Jays are a lot different with George Springer, and he's back tonight. He's on a DA. He was on an IL. Now he's back with a little double header, or she's a DH action. I shouldn't say double header. Designated hitter action there. All right, next game on our slate. Another fun one. This is going to be a fun couple of days with some inter-division series here. Mets, Braves, Spencer Strider. I mean, it's only right. It's only right that after what he said about the Mets last time, that he comes out there and pitches again against them. 2 2/3, 6 hits, 4 earned runs, 5 Ks, 2 walks last time for Spencer Strider, and a little bulletin board material for the Mets, calling them a little lucky. I do remember one of the balls that cost him a lot of runs was hit off a base. So maybe I would be a little bitter too, but I'm going to be fascinated to see how he bounces back here. I wanted to play this game extremely badly, but I think I'm just going to use my better senses here and stay off of it. Because I was fucking dead wrong on like every game in the series last time these guys faced, like a week ago, whatever it was now.
Yeah.
But I am leaning over, and truthfully, if you're giving me a plus 141 on the Mets, who have not lost a series and against any NL East team this season so far, which is the second longest streak for this any division team for this to happen, I think that's a fascinating note. I'd lean Mets here at a nice plus money price here, but ultimately I pass on this game. Leaning over and leaning Mets. Nick, what about you? This is a huge game, and I hope that indication that hat is an indication of where you're going here.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, when I saw 140, there's no way I'm not laying the Mets. I mean, you're going to give me plus 140 with the Mets, the best team in baseball right now. I mean, I'll take the Mets on the road. They could be playing anybody right now, and I'd probably take plus 140 against anybody.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's a good point of why you should take the Mets, especially since baseball season long. Obviously, a lot of shit could happen in a season long series, and you just take the value. Take the value where you find it. And when you've got, I think the best team in the National League and a plus money situation, I think you should probably take it. Obviously, I think it's tough because I think Spencer Strider is going to pitch exceptionally better, especially at home with a lot of, I think a lot of the Braves fans are plugged in. I think Braves fans in general are a good fan base and they know about that comment.
Yeah.
And I think they're going to come out full force and back their guy here. And obviously, I think this is just a huge, huge series in general. So I'm going to watch this game very closely and intently. I'm passing on it. Nick taking the New York Metropolitans here, and I definitely do not hate it as well. Royals versus the Twins, next game up, and this was another run line spot. I just think that Joe Ryan and the Twins should go in here and roll, but the Twins against lefties, 22nd, 74 weighted runs created plus, and the boob man Chris Bubich just always pitches well when I back him on these minus 300 fades. So I ultimately stayed off this game too, but this was definitely a Joe Ryan spot that I was like, I really want to take him, but I didn't know. I wasn't comfortable. I wasn't comfortable with the offense at the end of the day.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, Chris Bubich has taken more money for me this year, either backing him or fading him than I've done. So I just am off this game completely. I think Joe Ryan is a great pitcher. I think at home his splits are really good. If I had a gun to my head, I would probably back the Twins here, but I'm running away from this game. I want nothing to do with this game. I think the Twins are kind of fraudulent. I think we're going to see are they a solid team? Yes. Do I think they're going to be in the playoffs? No. I think they're going to falter. I think they're going to falter down the stretch and not make the playoffs.
Who do you think wins the division? Cleveland?
Actually, I think the White Sox win the division.
Wow. Wow. Okay. Well, that sets us up good then. That sets us up good because I want to talk about that White Sox game. And you know what? We're going to switch up the order here. We'll talk about Oakland, Texas next because I will definitely segue into that with these White Sox Astros game. And I wanted to move into this game now because I want to take the White Sox first 5 money line here. Yeah. I have not bet on the Chicago White Sox essentially the whole year. Like I have been out on them so hard.
Yeah.
But they're hitting well against righties right now. 113 weighted runs created plus. That's 10th.
Yep.
Sure. I guess Tony La Russa's staying awake for games now. That helps.
It's a big piece. That's a big plus.
It is a big piece. It is well, I don't know. Maybe if he was in the clubhouse sleeping and during the games, maybe they'd play better. I don't know. But Jose Urquidy on the road, a 4.83 compared to a 2.87 at home. I often say that I like these Houston Astros pitchers, but I like them a lot better at home. Shout out to Luis Garcia, Framber, and Jose Urquidy. So ultimately, with you saying that, the wind is behind my back. And I'm going to take the Chicago White Sox first 5 money line with maybe my first bet on the White Sox in what seems like 3 months. And I don't need to say this, but I say it quite frequently. Johnny Cueto is the MVP of the White Sox. He's kept this pitching staff afloat.
Yes.
Lucas Giolito was my AL Cy Young pick this preseason. Obviously, that's not happening. Johnny Cueto deserves more votes than he does, truthfully. So shout out to Johnny one more time. I think this line does smell like a little bit of a trap for the Houston Astros. So I'm taking the White Sox here, and let's see what happens.
Yeah, same. White Sox first 5 for me. White Sox full game for me.
Wow, look at that. And Tim, the loss of Tim Anderson, not scaring you.
No, Tim is great, and Tim will be back. But I think in this spot, it is a absolute just Yosemite Sam trap for the Houston Astros.
Man. Very interesting. By the way, I'm looking at RotoWire right now. RotoWire has Ryan Yarbrough as a primary for the Tampa Bay Rays. Did not mention that. Definitely needs to be mentioned. And you guys know how much I do not like Ryan Yarbrough. Wow. So you really think the White Sox? You are probably the first person that I've talked to that has said that, Nick. And I mean, I don't hate it, obviously, because the fucking Twins keep shitting all over themselves. They don't want it. The Guardians, I don't believe in. Terry Francona is amazing. Just such a good manager to keep this team afloat.
I mean, yeah, he's doing it with he's MacGyvering the shit out of that team, and
Exactly.
and he is. We kind of talked about this last night. I know you were like, is he manager of the year if they make the playoffs? I mean, he's definitely in the running. I mean, he's doing it with Jose Ramirez and 9 guys who probably were in the real Major League movie, and like it's it's amazing. So
I think honestly, off the top of my head, I'm thinking about this. AL Manager of the Year, Brandon Hyde should be number 1. Even if the Orioles don't make it, I think Brandon Hyde should probably win it. And they just have to finish well, obviously, even if they miss it like a couple
I can
games.
see that. Yeah.
But I think when Terry Francona retires, I think they should rename the AL Manager of the Year trophy after him. So
that'd be great.
I think that's a good shout out right there, and especially if they win that division, then it's tough.
If they win the division, I think there's almost no argument that he's Manager of the Year.
Yeah, for sure. Shout out to Paul Trippy, by the way. I think all of Jose's picks will hit.
Well, there you go.
Paul, one of the nicest things anyone's ever said to me. Shout out to Dabby Cab, by the way, as well. The Daily Sesh back on 4:20 Eastern. We mentioned it off the top of the show. Just the simpatico, the synergy makes sense. Dutch wearing what he said was a French shirt, but it was a flannel. Let's just keep it a buck. It was a flannel. Shout out to Dutch. Thought he was gonna go cut some trees out, but I appreciate Dutch. He's a great show host. He's a funny guy and a funny show. And shout out to you, Dabby Cat, for watching, my man. All right, so now let's talk Oakland, Texas, because this game got bumped because of the White Sox hot flames that we had to talk about there. Caprillion versus Glenn Otto, and I don't know if we have any Glens in the chat right now. But the name Glenn does not inspire confidence. And I used to be an Otto guy. Like, I really liked him. And then the Otto Fade nickname came up. I was like, oh, geez. I don't know. But he's pitched well in his last 2 appearances at Houston, 2 earned runs in 5 innings versus the Chicago White Sox at home, 2 earned runs, 6 innings. I mean, I really wanted to back Caprillion here, and I thought, and the only way I could probably back him here was a first 5 under here, perhaps. But I think this game is just a dumpster fire. Truthfully, I think my money is best served in other places. A first 5 under 4.5 is -120. That is interesting to me, but I feel like I've lost on those too many times this year. So I'm going to pass on this game for sure.
Yeah, I don't have an official play here. I do think if you wanted to play this game, you can get Oakland first 5 plus half a run at -110. That's not a terrible spot to be in. So if you're at a tied situation, I think Otto is going to get touched up a little here by the A's. They're batting .364 against him. I don't think Caprillion is unhittable, so I do expect the Rangers to score as well. I would definitely not be running to the window to bet an under in this game, so I'm not really playing this game in any way.
No, I agree with you. While we both pass on this game, let's use this time to our advantage. Shout out the chat, the gas station report. Let's go wild pick saying the White Sox are overrated. I mean, I don't know. They were overrated, I guess, in the beginning of the season. Preseason, yeah. Now everyone everyone shits all over them because they're a shit team. And I agree. I don't think they're a very good ball club here. But I think that Jose Urquidy struggles on the road here. And that is kind of what my pick or my play is based off here. Though the White Sox are bad, I do believe in the White Sox offense. And real quick, I'd like to pull up RotoWire one more time because I want to pull up their lineup. Pollock, Vaughn, Eloy, Jose Abreu, Yasmani Granzal, Josh Harrison, Gavin Sheets, and Leury Garcia on the bump or on the mound or whatever the fuck in the lineup for them. I keep saying bump and mound because I'm used to talking about pitchers, but very interesting. I ultimately agree with you guys. I do not think that the White Sox will make the playoffs. I think the Twins will win that division because I think and hope they're a good ball club and they pushed in to win. And I want teams that push in and try to win to get rewarded for it. So we'll see how that goes for them. Dodgers Brewers next game on our slate. A really good one. A really good game here. Could be a playoff matchup for sure here, especially in the old playoff matchup. It could have been.
Yeah.
I have not fully wrapped my head around the new playoff format yet.
It makes 2 of us.
Yeah, I'm like, you know what? When September, like mid-September comes around, that's when I'll start looking at like, okay, who's playing who again? We have 2 teams on it, and then we'll start going from there. But Julio Urias versus Freddie Peralta, a fantastic pitching matchup. Freddie seems to be back. He had a okay start his second half of the season after his injury. I was going to say start his season, but it feels like 2 seasons ago when he saw him get hurt. I think it was like an oblique or something like that. But his first start was 3 2/3, 2 earned runs. Tampa Bay comes back, 5 innings, 2 hits, 2 earned runs, a home run, 4 Ks, no walks. Against anyone else at plus 141, I'd be like, all right, Freddie, sure, why not? At home, especially.
Yeah.
But I don't want to go against the Doyers here. First against righties, 156 weighted runs created plus. They're a juggernaut regular season team.
Yeah.
That's just what they are.
Yeah.
And we'll obviously see when it comes in the playoffs. My hot take, or whatever you want to call it, is they're not going to win the National League. I don't think that's especially hot because, only one team wins it. So I don't know. Obviously, they're favored, but I think it's going to be a fun time. I don't think in particularly, by the way, I don't know. I just don't think they're going to be as great at the end of the day. I don't know if that Walker Buehler news is going to hurt them as much. So I'll pass on this game, thinking that the Dodgers probably win. And if I had to take it, it'd probably be a run line here. So a pass for me.
I got 2 plays in this game, and they're correlating. Dodgers run line, Dodgers team total. Dodgers team total is 4.5 minus 105. Run line is plus 100 minus 110 depending on where you're getting it. I think those 2 things correlate really well. 2, I love the fact that I'm getting 9 innings of at bats from the best offense in the National League.
Oh man. And by the way, Jungle Boy also mentioning a new face. Thank you, Jungle Boy, for joining us. Dodgers bounced back here. They got shut out by the Royals yesterday. It obviously getaway day. If I was a better capper, maybe I'd realize getaway day. They're traveling the next day. They're playing the Brewers. Maybe it's an easy spot. You think the Dodgers are asleep, but oh man, I just really like that spot for the Dodgers today. And the minus 1.5, obviously, run lines the kings of the run line are the Dodgers. Them and the Baltimore Orioles, seemingly.
Yeah.
And even money is not bad. I've got it at minus 105 for me, and I think I will write that down, and we'll come back to it here because, boy, oh boy, one of the guys that forgot me into capping, and one of the guys that taught me a lot about gambling. Shout out to Preston. He always says you can't lose. You can't feel like an asshole when you're betting on the best teams. So betting on the best teams is always ideal. Derek, we'll talk about the parlays at the end of the show here. We gave out a say hey parlay at the end of the show. I know you're a parlay guy, so stick around until we recap our plays and we will get into it. But I do like the Padres to win. And I said I do like the Dodgers to win. Padres might be a little dicey, but Dodgers for sure. All right, next game. I don't know if this is the best game on the card, but it is for sure going to get my eyeballs. I'll stay up and watch this West Coast baseball. Luis Castillo, Ohtani. Fantastic matchup. Ohtani, I'll keep saying I think Ohtani should win MVP. He's been, first of all, Nick, it's not hard for me to argue against Aaron Judge. Let's start there. It's not hard for me to do that. Second of all, my other argument will be, all right, switch teams. Ohtani goes to the Yankees. Aaron Judge goes to the Angels.
Yeah.
Aaron Judge is going to hit 60 home runs on a fucking shitty ass team, just like Ohtani. And if Ohtani was in the Bronx pitching for the Yankees and hitting for the Yankees, baseball would be back. Let's just say baseball would become the first major sport if Ohtani went back to the Bronx, the way it'd be covered. So
that's not you're not wrong. And people who say that you have to discount like his pitching or his hitting.
Oh no.
Like I'm just saying, I know I've heard that argument, and I don't agree with it. I like the pick. I do. And even as somebody who lives on the West Coast, I wish I could see him play more. I hate baseball's television rights. They're the worst in all professional sports.
100%.
Like I can watch more cricket than I can watch Major League Baseball, and that's a problem. Like,
oh yeah, no, and you have like half the teams gone back there. I'm sure you the Padres, Angels, Dodgers. You might not get the Diamondbacks either. Not even Seattle, right?
It's insane. Yeah, nobody.
Jesus, no thanks. That's I really hope that I mean I've read some things and I hope that in the next couple of years blackouts become a thing of the past. MLB TV, I'm willing to pay more expensive fucking shit for less blackouts, guys. That's all I'm
Yeah,
saying.
exactly.
I
Yeah,
hope
no.
I hope the MLB executives don't hear me say I'm willing to pay more, but I do hate blackouts and they will be the death of me. Both of these ski teams, by the way, getting back to the baseball, but funny enough, 25th and 26th against righties. Both these offenses are struggling. The Seattle Mariners are having I would call it a hellacious West Coast road trip, but they're on the West Coast, so it's just a regular road trip for them. It's not been good. They've been losing to teams like the Angels. Not in a spot that you want to lose to. Is Luis Castillo going to be your stopper, your breaker? I don't know. But
Yes.
I'd like the under here. I'll be honest. Again, I sound like Noli here. First 5 under 3 and minus 105. I was like, I don't know, man. I don't know who breaks it because I trust Ohtani, and I do not especially believe in the Angels' bats at all. I think Luis Castillo, who I don't know who has had a more interesting first 3 starts on a new team than Luis Castillo. Into the Bronx, immediately into a playoff race. The Yankees again at home for a big pressure spot against Garrett Cole.
Yep.
And then you go to the Angels and you face the best player in baseball, Shohei Ohtani, pitching. So I shout out to Luis Castillo. He's going to be ready for October. I like the under here, but I don't know if I'm going to get to the window with this one. What about you, Nick?
So I was not a big Mariners believer preseason. I could not understand all the hype. I have since understood why this team is good. I think the Castillo trade was brilliant by them to swipe him from other contenders. I am all over the Mariners in this game. Give me minus 110 with the better depth. This team is a little bit deeper than the Angels, and that's what I like here in this game.
Oh, man. Oh, by the way, I just looked at the chat while I was going through the whole thing.
You're taking a beating.
Yeah, I was like, what am I getting booed for? I was like, oh, I said that Aaron Judge is the MVP. That makes sense. That makes sense. No, I mean, guys, I'll say this till I'm blue in the face. Team record does not matter in baseball for the MVP voting. It just doesn't. It doesn't. I mean, Mike Trout's won MVP fucking 6 times or whatever it's been, and his team's never been to the playoffs. His teams were all shit. You know? It doesn't matter at the end of the day. It really doesn't, and Aaron Judge could hit his 60, 70 home runs. But I do it on the mound. Judge, get on the mound, throw for a sub-3 ERA, and hit 25 home runs. And until Ohtani does not do that, I'll fucking keep voting for him for MVP every time. Every time. All right, last game on our slate here. Giants versus the Diamondbacks. And shout out to the boos. I got a good kick out of just reading boo, and I just started laughing in my head. I'm just imagining it. That's very funny. And shout out to DX Filer as well for joining us. What out to Steen. Last game, Arizona versus the San Francisco Giants. Madison Bumgarner, Alex Cobb. Past game, really. This is the West Coast game that I absolutely will not be watching. I do like Alex Cobb, and I would back him here, but why bother? Why do I want to? No thanks. 9th against righties are the Giants this month, 114 weighted runs created plus. Arizona hitting them pretty good to 11th, 112 weighted runs created plus. But why bother? Why bother? I don't want to stay up late for this game. Let me stay up late for the fucking Luis Castillo Ohtani show.
Yeah,
but not this game. What about you?
I'm not watching this game. I'm not betting this game. I'd much rather watch the Mariners game. So,
all right. Well, see, those are perfect reasons why not to bet this game. That is all I want to do. Not applicable. That would be hilarious. If we get to some kind of goal, I don't know like what kind of thing we can do not applicable, but I will absolutely let the people throw tomatoes at me if it's some form of thing. Like if the Yankees were to win the World Series this year, and I'll say this confidently, we could clip this, not applicable. Remind me, you could take a video, screen record this, do whatever. If the Yankees win the World Series this year, I'll sit down in front of a nice little tarp. We can line up people. $5 for 3 tomatoes. We'll give it all to charity. You can fucking throw tomatoes at me. No fucking problems. No fucking problem at all. That's how confident I am about these.
Old man.
These shit bum Yankees, they're not going to win the World Series, dude. Come on. They're not going to win the World Series. Aaron just never hit a home run in his life. A clutch one at least.
I trust me, they're not my World Series pick, so
it's gonna be fun. It's gonna be a lot of fun this October. All right, Nick, thank you for joining me. First of all, we appreciate it. Dunk tank saturated. I'll also do that as well. No worries. The Yankees ain't winning shit, so I'm not worried. Let's recap our plays. Let's give you the say hey parlay here. Remember to say hey parlay. One pick from each of us here. We'll try to combine the parlays. One mistake I've been making with the say hey parlays. I've been technically doubling up, I guess. Like I'll have a play that I bet individually and then a play in the parlay. I need to stop doing that. I need them to completely separate because I don't want to have these double losers. That has also contributed to my shitty record in the last 10 11 days, I guess now. So definitely need to make that difference as well. So
those are tough.
Exactly, and the say hey parlay always is interesting to say the least. All right, so let's start with Baltimore first 5 money line plus 120. That's what I've officially got in there. That was my first official play of the day going in here. I'm gonna roll. Call me Noli knows, because I'm rolling with that first 5 under 3 here in San Diego, Miami, minus 110. I think that's going to be a fun game to say the least. A good pitching matchup. I could easily see it being 1-0, 1-1. 0-0 after 5, and boy, oh boy, well, I'll be sweating any play, every run there, any base runner, I'll be sweating it. And there you go, Don play. There's your under that you were asking for. Didn't even realize you were asking for one, but I guess you won anyways there. So Miami, San Diego, first 5 under 3, shocking number that I'm taking under. I'm taking the New York Yankees minus 1.5, minus 115. Garrett Cole backing Garrett Cole. After I said I am not going to do all that, but it is. And Danzo putting out these stats. Look at that: 3-9 in August and 1-5 in 1-run games of the New York Yankees. You hate to see that, but I'm backing them today, so we'll see if I win or lose there. I like the Chicago White Sox first 5 money line at plus 100, and I also like the Dodgers minus 1.5, minus 105. Those are the two more official plays there. I am not going to move on the Chicago Cubs, Washington National over 8 at even money. I'm going to leave that out. And then my official say hey parlay piece will be the Phillies minus 1.5 at minus 120.
Nice.
So, all right, beautiful there. Nick, what are you making official today?
So we got some good official plays. I'm going to back Castillo full game in Seattle. So I got Seattle money line. We're going to take some Mets plus 140 on the money line. Miami plus 110 first 5 money line. Chicago first 5 money line plus 105. The Dodgers team total over 4.5 and the Dodgers run line. And one of my favorite plays that I didn't get to mention when we were on the game, because we kind of jumped, and I apologize, but I love the Toronto-Baltimore over 9.
Okay.
So that would be my parlay contribution.
All right, beautiful. I was going to ask, is that the parlay piece? And it is.
Yeah.
And it is the over 9 there. So a little plus 250 action for the both of us. Let me write this down real quick. So we've got the Phillies run line here. Noah Syndergaard, I hope you pitch better, you motherfucker. You could also take just Philly money line in general. Obviously, if you take Philly's money line, let me just do that real quick. That's a minus 180. So you get a plus 197, which, you know what, truthfully, I think I'd rather do that. I'm going to do Philly's money line. Just, fuck the juice. It doesn't really matter as much in the parlay. Obviously, when I say fuck the juice, hold on. We need to obviously run this. I mean, shout out to Steen, who I hope is still here for this, if I can fucking find the drop.
Oh, yeah. Uh-oh.
Huh? All right, beautiful. So thank you, Steen, and thank you, Pete, for the juice there. And I'm going to take the Toronto Baltimore over 9 there. And like I mentioned, on Bovada, it is a plus 197 parlay. Nick, thank you so much. This was a speedy show. I didn't expect this to be so expeditious, but I appreciate you for joining me. I asked you to notice, so that was very clutch of you, and I appreciate it. Where can people find you at, my guy?
Yeah, you can find me at Nick C. Picks on Twitter, TikTok, and Instagram.
Beautiful. Nick, hey, simplicity.
Yeah.
Everything on the same thing. So
make it easy.
Thank you, guys. Mr. MDR, thanks for joining us late. I appreciate you for watching when you get in here. And I'll give you the shout out, of course. Christopher Comentini, Danzo, going to be fun. Bo Jackson joining us. Cheshire Cat getting into it with some people. I love it, man. Cheshire, get your fight. If you guys want to fight it out in the chat, go ahead, man. I would rather it be a peaceful domain, but if war has to be had about these picks, war has to be had. Whatever we need to do to make money, we try to do it. So whatever you got to do, guys. AOD, my guy, thanks so much. Paul Trippy, the guy I think he's fighting with Cheshire Cat. I hope you guys mend the fences sometime soon. Saturated, let's go wild pick. Shout out to you, my guy. And Saturated asking for a birthday parlay. I didn't even realize. I didn't see you see this, Saturated. Well, we'll make that the say hey parlay. The say hey Saturated birthday parlay. Shout out to you, my guy, and happy birthday today. Appreciate it as well. Mike M, not applicable. Ronnie Ambergia, Dave Beckett's Don Play, the gas station report. All you guys, Mr. Heat, Steen, Ixnizzle, all you guys have been great. Thank you guys. We'll be back here. Oh, and little Ron Crawford, Minnesota Twins.
Oh, man.
Jackson. Yeah, well, let me tell you, Ron, I almost took the Minnesota Twins run line, so I definitely do not hate that at all there. And Danzo, by the way, that is a good point. Whatever Jose's parlay is, just bet the exact opposite. You will probably cash. You just take both legs, you bet them individually, and you flip the sides, and you will make the money, guys. I promise. You'll at least hit 1 out of 2. You'll at least hit 1 out of 2 if you bet the other side. So shout out to you, my man Danzo. That was funny as well. Banana and Grape, shout out to you as well for joining us. It's been fun. We'll be back here again tomorrow.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Thanks for inviting me again, Jose.
No, of course. I love when you're on, Nick. You bring the great vibes, and hopefully you bring the winning picks and the winning day for me, because I fucking need it. Nick, I promise you, if I go 5-0 today, Nick, I'll tell you, Nick, you gotta come on tomorrow, my man. I need you, my man. I need you. Need it. Shout out to you guys. And by the way, we didn't even mention that the Rangers fired their manager too. I don't think that will affect anything, but the Rangers fired their manager. So there's your other last little news note for say hey plays. We'll see you guys tomorrow, 5:30 Eastern, 4:30 Central with Bobano, and potentially Nick if we go 5-0. Who knows? See you guys next time.